Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host Sandman. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Covert Instruments Grav pick. Let's get into it. So this Grav pick was released about 3 days ago, end of October, and this guy already sold out. This thing sold out in like 2 days or 3 days. I'm not too sure. It's Sunday and I received it yesterday. I just looked to print this up and saw that it was completely sold out. I knew that this was going to be like revolutionary in my opinion. I actually thought this was going to change the landscape of locksport because I thought it was cool. It made lockpicking cool, and I don't think that I'm wrong in that. But I had no idea that it would completely sell out with just in a couple days. So I was like, man, I really need to do a review. I need to be the first, influencer to put out a review. And it's Sunday. Maybe I could put it out at the end of the day. No, I'm just going to release it on Monday because none of you guys can buy this. When it does go on sale, buy it. I highly recommend it. Just to cut to the chase, I think it's a really great product. If you can't choke back the $65, which is appropriate for this, and we'll talk about all the reasons why, then go ahead and just do the pay in 4 interest-free installments because that's what I do with a lot of my stuff. I have everything because I jump on it the second it becomes available. And it's not because I have a lot of money. I'm just irresponsible. And sometimes you can work with these credit card companies who don't charge interest. So by all means, I would highly consider doing that because who knows how often this is going to go in and out of stock. The Grav pick is the fusion of two highly addicting elements: lockpicking and fidget toys. With a quick flip of the wrist, you can deploy a hook or a rake and then lock it into place to use. After you get your open, you can flip your wrist again and make the pick disappear like magic. This will no doubt become a conversation starter for sure. The Grav pick comes with the 4 pick profiles that are part of the Genesis lockpick set, as well as a turning tool. Comes with a short hook, medium hook, quad rake, and a quint rake, all in 25 thousandths, and a turning tool in 40 thousandths. I'd like to mention that all of these are 301 high yield stainless steel, which is the strongest tool steel available on the market for lock picks. So I want to say that the first thing that struck me is the beauty of the packaging. I mean, the presentation of this is absolutely just wonderful. I love it. It's overboard. It's overkill. Doesn't need to be this way. I mean, just subtle things like the thin blue line right here. Everything about this absolutely says that these people are proud of this product and they hope that you enjoy it. And I think they just hit it out of the park all through and through. I really like this product. I've been playing with it all weekend. It's funny, my wife knows how to pick locks. I've taken my wife to several locksport meetups and she sits down and she picks with me. She's about, I think she might be an orange belt level, but she's never been tested or certified as an orange belt. But she just, finds it fun and she supports my hobby. When I pulled this thing out and I showed it to her, she was like, I want one. And because she's from Mexico, she has an accent. She's like, I want one. And I said, okay, well, maybe I'll give you this one or maybe I'll buy you another one. She goes, can it open all the locks? And I was like, no, it can't open all the locks. And she's like, well, I want one that opens all the locks. And I was like, well, we'll talk about it. So hang on, let me grab a lock here real quick. Now, I did switch out a profile because I like the quad over the quint, but it comes with the quint. Either one of the profiles in here work just fine with the lock that I'm going to be demonstrating on. So this is a Brinks 4-pin. It's a yellow belt level lock. It's very basic, no security pins. This is the type of lock that's very common in North America, very common at my local Walmart or Home Depot and stuff like that. I just want to show you guys how easy this is, okay? So that's it. That's all it is, okay? Did you miss that? Was that too quick? Watch this. That's it. That's all it is. I'm literally just dropping and I'm just letting gravity take its course and boom, and I'm just closing. Then I open it, gravity, get it? That's why they call it gravity. This thing is lovely. I love this. Watch, let me show you how easy it is to pick this. You literally just flick this with your thumb, place it in the lock, add some tension, flip the tool, pull out the profile here, and you're already in. Close the tool, boom. Look at that, I'm like McNally now. McNally, eat your heart out, sir. Just kidding, he's a Marine, he probably would. So listen to me, folks, this thing is awesome. I love it, I think it's great. This is awesome, guys, this is so cool. I love this thing. And you know what? I played around with the prototype when I was invited to Covert Instruments manufacturing facility and distribution center, which is based out of Virginia near Washington, D.C. back in April, about the first or second weekend of April. I was invited out to their facilities and I got to meet with a whole bunch of other influencers and they got to show us a bunch of really cool teasers of products to come. And this was one of those products. but I felt so retarded when I was using it. But I thought that what they had was super cool, and I thought it was perfect. And they were like, no, we just don't have the weight and the balance right, which I didn't understand because I thought that my hand was retarded. But the way they saw it was that their prototype needed to be tweaked so that the tool was perfect. And whatever tweaks they did to this, like, it wasn't that it didn't work, is that I honestly thought that I couldn't figure out how to use it. But apparently they were like, no, it has to be a certain type of balance. There's a lot of thought process that goes into this. A lot of engineering. This isn't some dumb tool. This is very, very practical, and it works very well. And so it blows my mind. This thing's awesome. And then there was a lot of confusion because there was speculation as to what this came with. I knew that it came with a turning tool and a pick, but I was like, does it come with, a flat pick or a round pick? Like, what does it come with? And it does. It comes with all that. So it comes with this little pouch here. And I just can't believe that, like, even the parts are not just thrown in there haphazardly. Like, everything is packaged so nicely. So it comes with a tool here for taking this apart. We're going to do that. And then it comes with some spare parts. They didn't have to do that. And it comes with 3 extra profiles. So you're essentially getting the Genesis pick set, which is the most popular pick set in the world right now. These 4 profiles, a flat hook, a medium or a short round hook, and then we have the quint and the quad rakes here. And like I said, 301 high yield stainless steel. We'll talk about that here in a second. But you get these spare parts, which is crazy because it's like, I don't think I need those spare parts. I don't think I'm ever going to wear this thing out. But if I did, I guess because it's aluminum and I'm dealing with a steel 301 high yield stainless steel pick, perhaps there's a possibility of the steel pick putting enough wear and tear on this aluminum part that maybe I might wallow out these holes. And I'm coming at this from like the idea of like an AR-15. Sometimes the holes can get wallowed out. So there's certain ways that you can reinforce like the trigger housing group on a lower receiver at AR-15, because once you wallow out those holes, you can't really fix them. You'd have to, re-weld them and re-drill them. That's kind of like how I look at this. It's like a billeted aluminum, lower receiver. And it's overkill. There's no need for them to offer these spare parts unless they're just like, you're going to use the crap out of this thing and you're going to be using some of the strongest tool steel available on the market. So if you damage this, here's 6 free screws, and then here's an extra piece that holds in your lockpick. And that's fantastic. They did not have to do that. I've never seen a company offer spare parts before in a jackknife tool. And I have all the jackknives, and we'll go over those here in a second too in comparison. But that's crazy that they have these. And I know it was a weird, obscure analogy there with the lower receiver, but some of you gun nuts will know what I'm talking about. So I could just take my little Allen key here and kind of just loosen it up like that. Now it doesn't, there you go. So one end falls out, the back end is gonna fall out. I don't wanna lose that, just keep that right there. And then this side comes out. Let me put this right here, and I can pull this out. Now I can put any tool in here that I want. Let's go ahead and put this guy in here. Let's put this rake in there. And let's replace this one here. So this has the male end. Okay, here we are. And this has the female end. Okay. Super easy to do this. So much thought went into this. 6 extra screws. You only need 1. That's crazy. Like, they really were just like, hey, we want to take care of you for life. And we don't want you to have to send stuff back to us just to get fixed. Okay, so I got it in. Super easy to replace. There you go. Just finger tighten it. That's it. I still need a little bit of practice with it, but this is fantastic. I love it. I love this thing. I showed that you could flick this out with your thumb. You don't have to flick it out with your thumb. You can catch the lock on it like this. You see that? Flip it around. There we go. Look at that. 2 profiles. Just zipping through that lock. So it's a rake. Okay, I'm raking, and I'm just demonstrating the raking. I'm trying to show you guys, the success of the raking. Rakes are going to be dependent on the lock that you're going to be picking. Does the lock have security pins? Is it a highly paracentric keyway? Does the lock need to be lubricated? So, you know, it could have a lot of corrosion. So just take that with a grain of salt. You're not going to walk up to every single lock in the world and just pop it open like I just did. Obviously, I did that for demonstration purposes, but man, I love it. So this is a jackknife tool. Let's just consider that first and foremost, all right? Let's talk about jackknife tools for a second. And I've been like slowly building up for the past year to try to determine what the best jackknife tool is, but I just haven't got to that point yet. I have all the jackknives. If I don't have a particular jackknife, it's because it's not worth buying. But my everyday carry, which maybe I'll pull that out here in a second. My everyday carry is Covert Instruments, Slim Pickens. And so these are all jackknives. That's not all of them, but there's a couple other pocket options here. Well, let me pull those out. So there's this guy. I also have the Swick. The Swick is not here because I have it in parts and I sent it out to a friend of mine, a manufacturer, to get the parts tumbled. So not pictured is the Swick. Let's see here. I have this thing from Tough Possum Gear. What else do I have over here? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, let me make sure okay, yeah, so that's over here. Sorry. All right, so I have a bunch of jackknives. Here's the Swick. So it's still in parts and pieces though. So let's just not consider that. So 1, 2, this is the Riz Pickens Slim, I don't know. It's got the Riz Pick in it. One has the Slim Pickens in it. And then you have just the regular Riv Pick by itself right here. And then, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 different types of everyday carry, you know, jackknife style tools. I don't know. I mean, you could say that these are the same thing and this is inside of these, but you could put this in your pocket by itself with its own turning tool. I got the Mad Bobs. I've got the Moki limited edition Vent Lockmaster, you know, from Zeiss Fix Tools, made in Germany. The Swick, of course. I've got the Covert Companion, of course. I've got the Multipick. I've got the Pocket Pick. I've got the UK Lockpickers and the exact clone, which is the exact clone of Dangerfield's, which are both kind of clones of the Mad Bobs here. And then I have the regular Lockmaster from Germany with the, this has the 1095 high carbon steel. I have the Sparrows, and then I have the Southern Specialties, they call it the RCS tool. And then I have the Majestic, and then I have the Grav pick. And I have the Dangerfield pocket pick set, which is a lot of fun. And then I have the Tough Possum Gear one. This is just made by Southern Specialties. But I have everything. I have everything. I don't know if there's anything else that I really need that's out there on the market that's good quality. Of all of these, all of my favorites by far have always been the Covert Companion. I carried this for a long time, about a year. I really love, obviously I love the Slim Pickens and the Riz, I don't know what the Riz Pick version of that. I really like this. I had this in my wallet for the longest time. Now this is actually my everyday carry, and I'll show that here in a second. And then close competitors, I really do like the Moki limited edition Lockmaster. This thing's always sold out. He'll usually make like 70 to 100 of these at a time, and they sell out within 2 to 3 days. I think that's cool. Multipick is good. This is a nice lightweight option. I think that's good too. That's pretty much it. The Swick is okay, but it has really huge problems with it, which is I'm saving for another video. So comparatively, and I've carried all these things over time, I think this is very competitive for all of these things, especially since, you know, you're probably just going to rake a lock in the field. You know, you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to try to rake it real quick. And if I can't rake it, I'm either going to cut the lock off or I'm going to walk around. I'm going to do something. I'm going to attack whatever the lock is attached to. And now I'm referring to people that may be working in locksmithing, pop a lock, or people that work in law enforcement, private security. So I do think this has a valid option, considering that you're only probably going to have a couple profiles on you. I don't see too many people packing these profiles in a pocket, because then you also have to carry that Allen key here in a pocket. But, you know, if you're putting that in a wallet, it's really not that big of a deal if that's something you wanted to do. But I don't like pulling out an Allen key and then, you know, changing parts out in the field to try to, I would rather just, you know, carry something like this that has all the profiles that I need. You know, this has the same profiles as the Gravity Pick. So if I'm going to carry this thing's going in my pocket because it's fun. And it's super fast and effective. And like I said, it's a conversation piece. It's something I'm going to be taking with me to locksport meetups in the future. Look at that jet airplane over my head. Well, the jet is over my head right now while I'm making this video. Let me pull out my everyday carry real quick. It's the loudest airplane in the world. So my everyday carry is a bunch of Covert Instruments products inside of an ITS tactical pouch like this. I don't advocate or recommend anybody purchase tools from ITS Tactical. Those people don't pick locks, honestly. They're just resellers of other people that make the tools. But I purchase all my leashy tools from Covert Instruments, and they're actually the largest purchaser of leashy tools in North America. So when they go on sale, you can get them for anywhere between 35 to like 50 bucks, which is about half or 50% of what all the other companies sell them for. So if you go to ITS Tactical, you're never going to see their leashy tools probably for less than $50 or $70 on average when they are on sale. I don't think I ever see them for less than 70. But I do like this pouch. I think they did a great job with the pouch, but it's all Covert Instruments products in here. I've got the slim pickings here. I've got a set of turning tools here. I've got a master lock leashy tool. I got the KW5 because that works for KW1 and KW5, so a quick set, 5 and 6 pin. And then I have the FC20. The FC20 covers all Schlage keyways. So this is my everyday carry, and this is it. I've reduced it down to this. I used to carry so much more. I used to carry a bypass kit. You know, I used to carry full-size lock picks like Moki and Jimy Longs and stuff. This is just what I carry now because I can pick most locks with that riv pick right there. Or if I'm really needing to pick a lock, it's probably going to be a padlock like a master lock or a quick set or a Schlage. If it's not any of those, then I can give it a try with the slim pickings there by just raking it or single pin picking. Otherwise, maybe I don't need to be getting into that lock period. So that's what I carry. I think this is very appropriate because I don't know, maybe this isn't something that I want to necessarily, maybe, I don't know. I don't really have a problem using the slim pickings. I can use it in all manner of locks. But, you know, I don't know, maybe I don't want to rake with this. Maybe it jams into my hand and I'm like, you know, like maybe this is a compliment to my everyday carry. And it's fun, and it's something that's super accessible. This actually goes into what's called a 1.5. It's my off-body carry. Not really. I carry a sling bag everywhere I go. And so I've been doing a lot of hospital visits. So this goes in my sling bag that doesn't have my conceal carry. And so this would be something I would just put in my pocket, super lightweight. I think this is totally viable for everyday carry compared to all of the other jackknives on the market. I mean, I think the only thing that competes against this, in my humble opinion, would be the slim pickings or the Riz pick, or, you know, like, this is called the Riv pick, and then there's a Riz pick version, and then they have the slim pickings and the slim tickler. That's what it's called. It's hard to remember all these names with all these. I got 18 products in front of me, guys. I don't know how my mind even functions. This is cool. If you're gonna put this like in your glove compartment, I would recommend that in your glove compartment. These are cool on a keychain or in a pocket, but I just like this because of the slim factor, but it does go off body and then on body. I'm probably gonna carry this. I really do like this. I think it's fun. This is probably gonna be on my person at all times because I could probably get into most locks with it. It's just that effective. Now let's talk about weight since I am going to be considering that for carrying in my pocket here. And let's compare it to a couple other products that are available on the market similarly. So this is my food scale. Been eating pretty healthy. Okay, here we go. We're gonna measure this in grams because grams is more accurate than ounces, believe it or not. And let's go with 68 grams here. All right. Comparatively, if I were to measure that, let's say with one of these slim pickings, so it's 40 grams. So it's about 50% heavier. And let's compare that to the Lockmaster here. So it's going to be 100% heavier than that. Let's compare it to the Multipick. It's going to be a little bit about, what was that? I'd call that 200% heavier. But really what I think it is comparative to, it reminds me of in size and form. It kind of reminds me of the Sparrow's jackknife tool, which is 80 grams. The Sparrow's jackknife tool, I think, really missed the mark. It feels like it may be aluminum, but this thing is so bulky and heavy. It may be steel. It's just so heavy. It comes in at 80 grams. This came in at 68 grams. And you would think that 12, 13 grams doesn't make that much of a difference. But I honestly really do feel that difference because 13 grams out of 80, I mean, we're looking at, it's like nearly 20%. So 81 grams. This thing is just a giant piece of junk and I hate it. And I absolutely, if this thing was $40, I would give it a fair shake. I would say, all right, this is Sparrow's, you know, jackknife, and it is what it is. For 40 bucks, is it worth buying? I don't know. That, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But because it's $90 or whatever they're asking for this thing, whatever they're asking for this thing, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan at all. And it's just overpriced. It just really is. And I think they missed the mark. It's 90 bucks. It's the most expensive jackknife tool on the market outside of the Swick. And the Swick was like, I don't know, 100, I think it was like 100, 120, but it came with like, you can put like 12 profiles in here and you can get 8 more profiles to swap out. And it has so many turning tools. It has 2 double-ended top of keyway turning tools and it has 6 bottom of keyway turning tools. It's ridiculous. This thing is ridiculous and it's comparable in price to this guy. So I would compare this to this in size and in weight. In functionality, this only has 1 profile with 1 turning tool, and in functionality, this guy from Sparrows has 6 profiles with 1 turning tool, but this is 50% more expensive than the Grav pick. And I don't know, there's nothing wrong with this. It's a jackknife, and a jackknife is never going to make you a better lockpicker. It's only going to take your level of skill. If you're a blue belt level lockpicker and you try to use a jackknife, you're going to magically drop to about a green belt level. And so it takes your skill level and it drops it by about 1 belt, maybe 2. And if you're picking out in the field and you're picking on rusted used locks that you're not in the comfort of your home and maybe you got someone breathing down your neck, drop it down another belt. So if you're a blue belt level at home, you're probably a green belt or orange belt level out in the field. But that being said, I'm really not going to be picking or attacking any locks that have security pins out in the field. And I think it's just fun. I think it's fun. Let's see here. Let's talk about the tool steel real quick and make some other observations here. Hang on. So the tool steel is 301 high yield stainless steel. It boasts about 280,000 pounds per square inch of ultimate tensile strength. That is a best estimate possible, and that is the strongest tool steel on the market for lockpicks at this point in time as of November 2024. The next strongest tool steel is going to be a 400 series surgical stainless steel, and then we have the 1095 high carbon, which can be all over the place. It just depends on manufacturing processes. And then we have the 301 full hard, which is kind of like a lazy industry standard. Like these can be cut with dies, so tool and die or die machinists, machine shops can cut these. The 301 high yield really needs to be cut with a laser cutter, and those lasers are very expensive. Like you have to invest about I would say $15,000 to $35,000 for a good industrial laser. So I know people that are making tools out of 301 full hard, and then they're like, oh, we don't do high yield because it's not American. No, you just don't want to make the investment into the laser cutter that's required. Jimy Longs, who's based out of Utah, orders 301 high yield, no problem, and can make some of the best, highest quality lockpicks that money can buy out of his garage and outsell the manufacturers that are selling the 301 full hard. It's just an excuse for them not wanting to upgrade. I don't like 301 full hard because it's half the tensile strength of 301 high yield. And it's just lazy. It's 2024, guys, get with the times. And then we have titanium grade 5. That's non-corrosive, non-magnetic. Really great if you're a spook or a spy and you're running around doing sneaky stuff. If you're a Navy SEAL and you want to put a lockpick set inside your boot or something like that, then by all means go with the titanium grade 5. However, it's just slightly stronger than a paper clip, and I wouldn't recommend it for some serious picking. But if you need to go through non-permissive environments and do some surreptitious lock picking, then you need something that's non-magnetic, that's not going to show up on walking through a metal detector. Then that titanium grade 5 can be something that you want to use. But Covert Instruments is now exclusively making all of their lock picks and profiles out of the 301 high yield stainless steel, which is the strongest tool steel in the market. And that's what really put them on the map. And so I would expect no less from them when they did that with the Grav pick. I think the Grav pick is fun. I think it's fun. Is it a toy? Yeah, it's a toy. Is it campy? Is it encroaching upon, being the kind of toys that we would expect from let's say Sparrows? Yeah, it is that. It's all of that. It's all of the above. The difference is it's 50% less of the cost it's nearly half the cost of the I don't even know where it's at now. Wow, it just disappeared on me. It's 50%. It's nearly half the cost of the Sparrow's jackknife tool. And this is innovative. Like Sparrow's jackknife, okay, the one thing that they did that was innovative to this is you push here and you can pull out the tool. Okay, got it. Okay, that's great. That's cool. Is that function though really worth? I can't even figure out how to put this thing back in. Hang on. Is that function though really worth the near $100 that this thing cost? I don't think so. It's not far off from this jackknife, which was like 40 bucks. It's not far off from this jackknife, which is quite less. I think it's like closer to 30. I have a few others here. My mind's going blank. Here's that Lockmaster. It's, in my opinion, what I would consider a traditional jackknife. If we're to talk about historical type jackknives, first probably would have been the Majestic here, where you have to like slide this thing forward to expose the parts, you know, and then you can like flip out these parts, and then you slide this, you pick out the part that you need. And we have all these shitty profiles, pardon my French, made of 1095 high carbon. You slide that forward, and now you have your tools right here. So this is an original version of a jackknife. It's an old version. I think the next version of jackknife that we would have seen on the market would have been probably this Southern Specialties one, you know, which is quite unique in its locking mechanism. You pull out the turning tool, and then you pull this guy out, and it's like a friction lock, and it loosens up to be able to pick a profile here. All these profiles were designed by Christina Palmer, and the same person that designed the profiles for our gravity pick here. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, then that came along, and then Mad Bob produced some stuff, and then Dangerfield took the Mad Bob design, and then Dangerfield right there, and then UK Lockpickers copied Dangerfield, and then Martin Newton, who helped design some of the tools with John Fowle, the Fowle lockpick set that was an utter failure in my opinion. They helped design this. This thing's solid aluminum. I'll never use it. And then Multipick, came out their jackknife, and then we have a few others. I think then we had, oh gosh, I'm looking here. Then we had the Covert Companion and the Slim Pickens, and then guys, it doesn't matter. This is all subjective. Who cares? I just went off on a tangent, and I had no purpose or point to any of it. I have all the jackknives, and I've learned that just because someone packs a punch with a whole bunch of tools in it doesn't make it more applicable or practical. I think that this had a lot of potential, but I think it had some really huge shortcomings. I'm going to talk about that in a video. This is called the Swick. But I think at the end of the day, a jackknife is like a guitar. If it makes you want to pick it up to use it, then it served its purpose. My dad had at one point 80 different guitars. And it's not because my dad used to be a professional musician in the 60s. My dad is a great guitar player, but he's now in his late 70s. He doesn't play that much. But he still has a room full of musical equipment. He probably has over 50 guitars. He has a stand-up basses. He has steel pedals, lap steel, all kinds of stuff. He has drums. He has everything. And I don't think my dad plays any of these instruments. But he owns them because whenever he walks into that room, something's going to spark his eye, and maybe it might inspire him to pick it up and play it. That's what this does. The goal of the gravity pick is not necessarily to be competitive on the market or to be the best lockpick that's available. It's designed to make you look at it and want to pick it up and play with it, which is what a fidget spinner is supposed to do, I guess, right? A fidget toy. And that's why I collect all these tools. I don't collect all these tools necessarily because I'm a golem and I like to just hoard things. Sometimes I collect these tools. I get these tools because I want to review them, and I kind of want to know, like, what's the difference between these two things? Absolutely nothing. They both went to the same Chinese manufacturer to try to undercut each other. It's pretty funny. It's a funny story. But at the end of the day, I like having all these tools. I have excess. I have too many tools. I have enough tools for the rest of my life. I could give all my tools to 10 different people and still have too much. But I like having all the tools because I want to be able to see one of these tools and pick it up, and I want to be able to just be like, you know what? That's cool. That's awesome. I'm so glad that I bought this kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So it's a serious lock pick for a serious lock picker. High quality tool still. I think it's great. I think the price is great. The average price range for all of these on average is going to be about $45 to $60 for a jackknife tool. So the fact that this is being retailed at 65 bucks, I think it's a perfect price range. However, $50 would be even better. And I would recommend that if $65 is out of your price range and you don't want to buy into the whole, 4 interest-free payments. I do the payment stuff all the time. Like I use Affirm and I use Shop, and I use that stuff all the time because I'm like, I don't have the money now, but I want this thing now. So, we'll make that compromise and I'll just regret it down the road. Wait for this thing to go on sale. Maybe it'll go on sale for Christmas. Maybe it'll go on sale for Black Friday. $50 is a steal for this. A steal. If you can get this thing for 50 to 55 bucks, that I wouldn't complain any further about that price. 65, it's appropriate, it's competitive. I really do believe that for all the functionality that it has, with being a fidget toy. I think that this is great. If you can get, if you can't swing the 65 bucks, wait for it to go on sale and get it while it's at 50 or 55, whenever that happens. However, this is a new product, so it's going to be a while before it does go on sale, and it's already sold out. So why would they put an item on sale that can't even stay in stock when they're selling these things like hotcakes? So if you can get this guy, period, I would highly recommend you get it. So it does fall into the Timothy price range. If you're new to locksport, I wouldn't recommend this for a beginner lockpicker, but then again, you know what, I would use this for a beginner lock picker. I could easily take this to a locksport meetup and say, oh, you've never picked a lock before? Here, let me give you this gravity pick and let me teach you how to pick a lock real quick. And it'd blow their damn mind if I pulled this out. If I did this like the magic trick that it is, where I flick this like it's a Zippo lighter and I put this in here, I pull out that tip, and then I fail once or twice. There we go. Oh, it relocked itself. Okay, spoke too soon. But if I did that in front of somebody, and then I did all this stuff, man, they would be hooked for life. They'd be like, really? It's that easy? I'm like, yeah, go ahead and give it a try. It's good tool steel, 301 high yield, so it's not going to bend or break on them. So yeah, I could recommend this for a beginner. I will recommend this to beginners. I think it's a good product. Timothy price range. So if you are in your mid 20s, early 30s, and you have a job, and you're not living at home with your parents, you can afford this. This is okay. But if you're little Timmy and you're 18 years old and you're still living at home with your parents and you're about to graduate high school, or you're trying to decide if you're going to go work for McDonald's or join the military or go to college, it's not in your price range. You can, I would recommend going with the Genesis pick set instead. If you already have the Genesis pick set and want something next to buy, I would actually get the Reaper set by McNally. That one's a cool set, has really great turning tools in it. Otherwise, yeah, I could still recommend this. If you're looking for that next $50 tier, I would get that. I would get the Grav pick. I think it's cool. Let's see here. I do believe it's best of the best, high quality, high functionality, transparency. The only thing about transparency is they absolutely do use 301 high yield stainless steel. It's very obvious in the way that it looks and the feels and the way it performs. And I can reach out to them. They say, yeah, no problem. It's 301 high yield. That's great. They really should be putting it on their website. It's marketing. It's good marketing. So they should put it on their website. I wish they would, but they are very transparent as a company. If you were to reach out to Peterson Manufacturing, or if you were to reach out to even Multipick, I have lockpicks with my name on them for Multipick, but they will not tell you what their tool steel made out of. We already know it's a 400 series stainless steel, but there's a lot of weird things going on with some of these older pick manufacturers who don't want their ideas stolen, from China or something like that. So I do believe it is best of the best. I do believe it's competitive and comparable to all the other jackknives on the market, especially with that good tool steel. It is high quality. It is high functionality. Absolutely works just well. And transparency is there too. That's fine. So that's it. I think this is a great product. There's not really much to say about it. I was going to do an unboxing and I was like, there's nothing to say in the unboxing I can't do in an actual review. I mean, it's a lockpick. That's all it is. It's a fun way to enjoy lockpicking. I would never see somebody use this in the military or some SWAT guy stacked up, behind a door, as a breacher, and he's going to be like, he's never going to do this, but it's cool. I do see this being used in movies though. I absolutely see this being used in a movie. I think they'll gray out this Grav pick. They'll sanitize it, remove that, maybe paint this whole thing, black or something. And I could totally see this being in a John Wick movie. Can you not? I can. I mean, it's just super cool. I love that I can do that. And man, super cool. I love that. Here we go. Got it. Boom. One quick note. Let's take a look at this turning tool here. It's not very often that I see turning tools that I suspect that are 301 high yield as well. A lot of people will skimp out on the turning tool. This is a very high quality turning tool. It feels like it's like chrome or something, like, you know, some type of polish plating that's on it to keep it from corroding. So it could be a different material underneath. But one thing to note is it actually has this unique bend in here because it is tension fit or friction fit, however you want to call it. I think tension fit would be the correct term here. So you just place it in there, and this bend right here presses against the chassis of itself. And so that's not going to fall out. There's no way you could get that to fall out. And I love that it doesn't stick out, but the curvature of the chassis here allows you to catch this lip with your thumb or with a lock. So I just wanted to make note of that. I don't think this is something I would use for top of keyway. I think it would fall out. Oh no, you could totally use that for top of keyway here. Okay, yeah, you could use that. Do I have a pick here? I don't have a pick. All right, well, let's try that with this. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Let's try this as a top of keyway tool. Because it does come with a flat hook and a round hook. Now, there's a lot of people that pick locks bottom of keyway. This is top of keyway. This is bottom of keyway. That's top of keyway. When I single pin pick and I use a flat hook or a rounded hook, I like to use top of keyway because it gives me room to lever off the bottom of the lock here. And I'm just curious. I'd never considered if this, yep. Interesting. Huh. I guess because it's 40 thou and maybe it's specific to this lock, but that had no problem. This is a quick set. Okay, well, hold on. Yeah, no, it still stays. You could use this for top of keyway if you wanted to, but it's not designed for that. So that's a quick set. Let's check it on a Schlage. Yeah, it didn't even flop over in that Schlage. Okay, flopped over there. Yeah, so it's a little long for top of keyway, but you could do it if you wanted to for some locks, because I just proved it with this spring, but it's not meant for that. That being said, anyways, it's a very nice tension wrench. I don't think I've ever said that before in a previous video where I'm like, oh, it's a nice tension wrench. I mean, tension wrenches are just pieces of metal with a 90-degree bend to them. So I love the ease of this. That's fantastic. I love it. It's it's going to be my everyday carry. This is my new everyday carry. I'm going to make a video this week proclaiming my new everyday carry. And people are like, he's a shill. He's shilling for Covert. No, guys, I love a lot of companies. I have a top 4. I'm going to do a video on my top 4 here pretty soon, but this is my everyday carry right there. I think that's fun. This goes in my pocket. This is going in my off-body carry bag, my sling bag. So this is going in my sling bag. This is going in my pocket. Super cool. Folks, that's all I have for today. There's nothing else to say about this. I'm just rambling, talking nonsense. I don't think any of you guys actually made it to this point of the video. If you did, please let me know in the comments by saying abracadabra, and I will know that you are one of the faithful, one of the few, one of the strong ones that are going to do really well in locksport. Just kidding. That's all I have for today. Let me know in the comments down below. What I really want to know is not that if you are going to buy it or if you think this is practical or anything. It's a toy. It's fun. It's a fidget toy. It's a great way to play around with locksport. It's something that's inspire you to pick it up and to use it. That's what it's for, just like a musical instrument. It's just to inspire you, to get you excited, you know. I want to know if you think the price is right. What do you think of $65? I think the price is perfect for it. I had a couple people say that they didn't like the price. And I was like, well, compared to all the other jackknives on the market, it's very competitive, in my opinion. I think it's a good price. I want to know your guys' thoughts on the price. If you guys have any other opinions on it, if you think this is a cool product, or if you don't think it's a cool product, let me know. But it is. I think it's cool. Let me know what your thoughts on all of that. That's all I have for today, folks. As always, I'm not rich, I'm irresponsible, and I'm just a businessman blessed with many friends. That's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.